We're here. So this is the first paper 2 that we have did with the primaEd. Okay, so this is 2020, a paper 2. Okay, so this is going to be a long video. So let's just get right to it. Okay, so the first question says the difference between two fractions is 3 and 2/3. So what you do is let the required fraction be x. Okay, so now the way that you do it is you're told that the difference between these two fractions, there's one here, there's a smaller fraction here, so x minus the smaller fraction, which is 2 and a quarter, you should get the difference, which is 3 and 2/3, like this. So here you'd actually get x equal to 3 and 2/3 plus 2 and a quarter, like this. Then you change this to our improper fractions, so here you'd get 11/3, like this. Then here you'd get 9/4. So 3 by 3, 9 plus 2, 11. Then here 2 by 4, 8 plus 1, 9. So you get 9/4, like this. Then you put the lowest common multiple for the denominators. It's 12. So you say 3 into 12, then you get 4. 4 by 11, then you get 44 here. Then you say 4 into 12, that's 3. 3 by this, you get 27 here. So lastly, you just have to say 44 plus 27, then you get 71 over 12. Okay, so 71/12 you can also change to improper fraction. It becomes 5 and 11 divided by 12. Okay, so that's it. And then this one says the population of a certain country is 24.9 million. Express this population in standard form. So the population here, you're told it's 24.9 million. So million means 10 to the power 6. Okay, so million is 10 to the power 6. Standard form, it's essentially this notation here, where it's a multiplied by 10 to the power n, where a is any number, it's less than 10. Okay, single digit. It doesn't have to be single digit, but then it gets to start with the units digit, and so it's less than 10 and equal to or greater than 1. And so this is the standard notation. So here, this one we have to adjust such that it confines itself between 1 and 10. So this one would be 2.49. Okay, we have made there are two ways to go about it. We have made this one smaller here. So if we have made smaller, we have to power it back. That's how we retain value. Okay, so we power it back by the number of shifts for the comma that we did. So here the number of shift would be just 1. Another way to look at it is whenever you shift the comma to the left, here you shifted the comma this way. Let me actually show you the way it's usually shown. So you shifted the comma once, one place. To the left, whenever you shift the comma to the left, this power is to be positive. But that one, it's just screaming. It's not very good. If you want to understand it, this 24.9, it's bigger than 2.49. To get 24.9 again, we have to power the number. So we power it by a positive power for 10. Okay, so here the positive power should be the number of shifts. So then we just shifted once, so we'd get this. And then multiply by obviously 10 to the power 6 here. So you'd get 2.49 multiplied by 10 to the power 7. Next question says increase this in the ratio 8:5. Okay, so in the ratio 8:5 simply means 8/5 here. You can write ratios in A:B, or you can write it ratios as A/B. Okay, so it means that for every if you are considering these having being the 5 parts, make the proportionate parts be 8. That's what it simply means. If you are asked to increase in this ratio, what you do is that just take this ratio, so it's 8/5. This is a very uncommon question, or at least an uncommon way to ask a question like this one. Okay, But then essentially what they want you to do, and another guideline is you want to increase this value. So obviously it should be by an improper fraction here somehow. 8:5 simply means we want 8 parts if we were to say that these proportionate parts are simply 5. Okay, so I'll try to work out another way. So let's see. So this one would be 8, and then you'd get 64 here. 64 dollars. So 64. Another way to go about it would be to say 5 parts. So you want to increase this. So obviously, if you want to increase it to proportionate 8 parts, then you're dealing with this as 5 parts. So 5 parts is to 40,000. Not 40,000, it's to 40,00. So it's just 40. Then 8 parts must be more. If it's more, then we say what? Bigger number at the top. So bigger number, it's 8 over 5 multiplied by 40. Okay, so then we are back to what we had here. And then you just have to simplify, and then that's it. So if you want also, you can write this in the same format as they give this one. So it would still be $64 or 64.00. Still be fine that way. You asked to evaluate 7 root 5 to the power 2. So what do? So this square here, it applies to both 7 inside and also square root of 5 inside. Okay, so you're supposed to be mindful. And then they ask you to show all waking as well. So just be careful. So if these ones are multiplying, it means that it affects each and every multiplier here. So it would be 7 to the power 2 multiplied by root 5 to the power 2, like this. So you'd actually get 49 here, multiplied by, this one would be 5. Okay, you have a square root and you have a square. These ones, they cancel. Another way to look at it is you're dealing with 5 to the power half to the power 2. So 2 and 2, they'll cancel, and then you still get 5. So here you just get 5. And then here you can divide this one by 2. So you'd get 20. Is it okay? You'd get 2, then you get 4. So 5. Okay, so you get 245. Again, you're not really expected to say this from your mind or to work it out. You can actually just use a calculator. But essentially what I do is whenever I have a number, just for the sake of paper 1, okay, so now our answer is 245. Okay, but if I had a number like 49 and then I wanted to multiply it by 5, I can multiply it directly. But then what I can also do is to just divide by 2. So here, what I'll be doing is divide by 2, and then I'll be multiplying by 10 here. Dividing by 2 and multiplying by 10 simply means multiplying by 5. Okay, it's still the same thing. But then this one, it makes it easier for me. So I can say 2 into 2, then I get 2 into 4, then I get into 8, then I get 4. And then there's a remainder 1 here into this, then I get 5. That's why I was saying I just divide this by 2, and then just, if it's an even number, you just set it 0. If it's an odd number, then it's just 245, like this. Okay, if this one confuses you, don't use it. But then it's really handy. For example, someone can ask you 2 times 5 like this. Then you just divide this one by 2, then you get 111. Then you add a 0. Then it's 1110. I know that's it. Okay, but then if this confuses you, just go with what's trending here, which is the simpler method. Okay, so let's quickly move to the next question. Next question, you're asked to simplify this. So this is a number basis, and this is in base 2, and this is in base 5, and you're asked to give your answer in base 5. Okay, so remember, it's not only about knowing, it's also about time as well. So you should be very strategic in how you answer the questions. So for example, in this case, what I'll do is I'll actually work out my question in base 5, because that's what I need as the answer anyway. So what I'll do is I'll change this one. So this one is 1 1 0 1 1 base 2. I want to change it to base 10. Okay, so what I do is, and use this, what you do is label these starting from the least digit here going up. So you label it as 1 2 3 4, incrementing by 1, just like this. And then afterwards, what you do is you take a number, so 1 multiply by 2, you take the base, and then you say to the power. this now these numbers that you are writing. So plus, again you check your number 1 multiplied by 2 to the power 3, plus you take your 0 multiply by 2 to the power 2. If you want, you can even skip this one because it's going to be yield as 0 anyway. But then that is if you're really sure, because sometimes you confuse yourself. Okay, just do what's, if you see that it's a bit problematic for you, just do it the proper way, just like what I'm doing here, the long way. So here 1 times 2 to the power 4 to the power 4 would be 16 here. So it'd be 1 by 16, plus this one would be 1 by 8, plus if you're someone who makes mistakes, don't skip any stages here, because if you skip, then you might make some mistakes. And something that you should look out for, so this one is simply 1 by 2 here. Something you should look out for is 2 to the power 0. 2 to the power 0, it's simply 1, okay? So it's not 2, it's simply 1. So here then you get 16 plus 8 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1, okay? So here you have 11, so 3 plus 8, 11. So 11 plus 16, so you get 27, right? 27 plus 10. Then what I'll do here is I'll change this one to base 5. Okay, so it'd be 27, and you put your T diagram just like this, and then you put your T just like this. Then you say 5. You have to insert 5 repeatedly, and 5 into 27. Then you get 5 remainder 2. Then 5 into 5. Then you get 0. It's actually 1 remainder 0. Okay, so 5 into 5, it's 1 remainder 0. Then 5 into 1, it's 0 remainder 1. So your answer would be 102 base 5. You'll be reading your number from going from bottom up like this. Now you have this one here. So essentially what you have is 111. Okay, 110 here. Sorry, 0 1 1 2 plus 2 4 3 base 5 like this. So this one, it's essentially equal to 1 0 2 base 5 plus 2 4 3 base 5 like this, which is equal to, then you go on your side. So always include everything. Okay, if you're doing this on a piece of paper, it's better for you to actually scribble on your question paper, on your answer sheet, okay, than to do it separately. But essentially when you add here, you'd have 2 plus 3, then you get 5. 5 means the remainder would be, okay, so let me actually do it the way that I taught you here on primaEd. So 5 means 1 set of 5 and 0 remainder. Okay, so 5 means 1 set of 5, we're going to carry the set, and then we're going to leave the remainder here. And then 5 again, carry 1 set, and then we leave the remainder here. Then you get 4 here. Okay, so the answer would be 400 plus 5 like this. So 400 plus 5. Let's move to the next question. Next question says we have 2 similar cups of diameter 6 centimeters and 10 centimeters. Okay, they're similar. And we've actually done this on one of our videos. But essentially what you have here is the diameters, they give you the ratio, the ratio of sides. Okay, so we call it the scale, or the ratio of sides. So ratio of sides would be, or you can even say length ratio. Okay, so it's better on the tongue. Okay, so length ratio equals to, so 6 centimeters is to 10 centimeters, so which is equal to 3 over 5. Okay, so volume ratio, we talked about this in one of our videos. I'll put you can find that video here. And essentially volume ratio equal to length ratio length ratio to the power 3. Okay, so you'd have 3 over 5 to the power 3. Then you'd actually have 27 over 125, like this. And that's it. If area ratio is equal to length ratio squared. Okay, just think of it, cubic centimeters, that's volume. So you're dealing with a 3 there, an index of 3. So just think of it as to the power 3. Square centimeters, you're dealing with area, that's an index of 2. You're dealing with 2 degrees, so 2 to the power 2, okay, from the length ratio. And the opposite is also true. You can actually get your length ratio from the volume ratio as well. They've never tested it, but then just be on the lookout. It's simply math. So the second part says, given that the volume of the smaller cup is 100 cubic centimeters, calculate the volume of the larger cup. So here the ratio is 27 for the smaller cup and 125 for the larger cup, okay? And you're given that for the smaller cup it's 100, and you're asked to calculate for the bigger cup. So the bigger cup would obviously be more. We're dealing with a simple ratio here. If it's like this, then we say bigger number at the top. Okay, so I'm using principles of simple proportion here. So 27 here multiplied by 125. So 100 divided by 27 multiplied by 125, like this. So you'd get to 3 significant figures, you'd get 462. Let me check, let me change this to, okay, so it'd be 463. This is 3 SF, then you indicate 3 SF, okay. I haven't checked yet, it's been long since I actually checked the ZIMSEC accuracy that they require, but essentially this is it, okay. And don't forget your units, by the way. So this one would be cubic centimeters here, and this one you indicate that it's to 3 significant figures, and then you're good. Okay, let's quickly move to the next question. Let's keep this, and then okay, so we got 463, just like that. Okay, let's move over. A wooden block in the form of a prism whose cross-sectional area is a parallelogram with base this and perpendicular height this and length this. Calculate the surface area of the cross-section of the block. So even told that the cross-section is what? Is a parallelogram. So parallelogram simply means a rectangle that's sort of like slanted. So it's a rectangle, but then it's pushed. So these sides would be actually equal, and then these sides would be actually equal. And then there would also be parallel. Okay, so we call this a parallelogram just because the opposite sides, they're parallel. And what's happening here is you're given the base is 35 centimeters. Okay, and you're also given the height is 20 centimeters, so the height would be this height here. Perpendicular height is, perpendicular, it simply means it makes right angles with the base there, so it's 20 centimeters. Okay, so you ask the cross-sectional area. The cross-section, you're told that it's a parallelogram, so you ask the area of this parallelogram. So area of a parallelogram, right? You don't have to write what I'm writing here to say parallelogram. Okay, I'm just writing so that you understand, but essentially it's equal to base times height. Let me actually write the formula. Base times height, and when we say height, we actually mean the perpendicular height. Okay, so if you check this one is the base, we mean the perpendicular height to that base. So this one will be 35 centimeters multiplied by 20 centimeters. And just for fun, especially if you're good with math, I want you to investigate why the area of a parallelogram equals to base times height, because for a triangle it's half base times height. So I want you to go investigate why that is so, if you're really good at math. If you just want to pass and then move over to some other things as well, so if to some other things, then you don't have to do that. So essentially this is 500 square centimeters. So we had to identify what what shape is the cross section? The cross section was a parallelogram. We say that this, okay, this is a parallelogram. If there is a special parallelogram, we call it what? That special parallelogram, we call it a square. Okay. No, not a square, a rhombus. So a rhombus is to a square what a parallelogram is to a rectangle. Okay, so those ones, they'll be parallel, but then they'll also be equal. But then it's essentially the same thing still. The area would be base times perpendicular height. But I'm just saying that if you push, if you deform, you push. It's not really deforming. It's just a slight shear. If you push a square, you get a rhombus a little bit. If you push a rectangle, you get a parallelogram a little bit. So you asked to find the volume of the block. So volume equal to what? Cross-sectional area. Okay, so you can say cross-sectional area multiplied by height or length. For our case, it's actually length, since we used height already here. Okay, so by length, you're just repurposing what you're given in the question of which you're given the length there. So cross-sectional area is 700 square centimeters multiplied by 1.2. Oh, it's meters here. Okay, so what you do is you say by 100 here. Now it's in centimeters. Okay, you get it? So this one, it's in meters. You want to change it to centimeters, so you get this. If you want, you can say length equal to 1.2 meters multiplied by 100 centimeters per meter, like this. So those ones, they cancel, and then you get your answer here. So it'd be 120. Okay, so you get 700 multiplied by 120 multiplied by 120. So you get 84,000. If you want, you can just write it as 84,000 cubic centimeters. And don't try to change this to cubic meters, because it's a difficult process. You can get it wrong somehow, and then you're not really fighting for anything. Remember, this is only 2 marks. Okay. Sometimes if you're not sure about what procedure you should take, just look at the marks. Sometimes they're kind of a hint to how much work you're supposed to put in. But essentially, that is it. So let's quickly move to the next question. Next question says, find the mass of the block. Find the mass of the block if 3 cubic centimeters. So this one is a simple ratio again. 3 cubic centimeters weigh 2.5 grams. Of which, how many cubic centimeters did you have? You have 84. You had 84,000 cubic centimeters. So this one would obviously be more. If it's more, we say bigger number at the top. So 84,000 here divided by 3 multiplied by 2.5 grams, like this. So you don't have to. Right now, your calculator, I'm guessing your calculator will be showing 84,000, just like what we calculated. So you say divide by 3 right away, and then you say multiply by 2.5. Okay. So you get 70,000. So 70,000 grams. If you want, you can say 70 kgs. Okay, then that's it. So here, don't reset your calculator whenever you've done a working. So here I actually had 84,000 in my calculator, and all I had to do was to say divided by 3. So ways okay, so I had 84,000. All I had to do is to say divided by 3 and to say multiply by 2.5. Then I got 70,000. Okay, then 70,000 grams. Just an aside, 70,000 grams. If you're asked to change this to kgs, you say multiply by. Here, how many kgs do you have? How many? Oh, for 1 kg, you have 1,000 grams, like this. Okay, this is a 1 factor. Kg, which means 1,000 grams, and this, they simply cancel out to 1. But then this one is called a conversion factor. Okay, conversion factor. It means that you want to convert the units. So if it's a conversion factor, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, then you get 70 kgs like this. So that's why I wrote all 70 kgs here. Either answer would be fine. So here find the value of y for which this is equal to this. Okay, so this is matrix multiplication. So here we say row by column, so we're going to say this row by this column here. And it's not surprising that we have this. Why? Because our matrix here, it's how many rows? It's one row. By how many columns? Two columns. This one, it's how many rows? It's two rows. By how many columns? One column. So if you, this one, if it's 2 and 2, it simply means that, yeah, it's feasible. You can do the calculation. And then the result, the resultant matrix would have the combination for this one. So 1 and 1 would be like that. So if they ask you what's the condition for matrix multiplication, you say that the number of columns for the first multiplier must be equal to the number of rows for the second multiplier. Okay, so that's the condition. But anyway, let's move over. You were not asked that. So you'd say y times -2, so -2y like this. Then you say plus, this one would be 4 multiplied by 3, then you get 12. So if you want, you can actually write 4 multiplied by 3. It would still be okay, especially where you have negatives. Okay. In fact, let me do that. So plus 4 multiplied by 3 here equal to -2. So you get -2y plus 12 equal to -2. So you get -2y equal to -14 here. So -14, some of these steps you can skip because we'll be working out like really fast. So you have only 2 marks, remember. So you only get for the whole working and also for the answer. So work out as fast as you can. If anything confuses you, you want to be careful, that's fine. Just follow just write all the steps, and then you write them fast. Okay, so 12 to the side, it's called transposition. That process, if you want to be a teacher later on, that process is called transposition. So you'd get -2, -12, then you get -14, then you divide both sides by -2, -2, then you get y equal to 7. Okay, and yeah, that's it. So again, just a recap, this one is what you're supposed to be, you know, this is what you're supposed to be holding on to for this question. Sometimes they ask you. So the number of columns for the first must be equal to the number of rows for the second one, in order for multiplication of matrices to be possible. Okay, let's quickly move to the next question. Next question says, find the matrix P such that this is equal to this. So matrix P, there are 2 ways to get it. So you can get either the inverse, so P must be the inverse of this, or you can get it by assuming something. You can say, let's actually use the first method here. So let P equal to A, B, C, D. But you're supposed to recognize this is a singular matrix. This is 1 matrices, okay, in 2 by 2 matrices. This is 1, so this one must be the inverse. But then if you didn't know, this is how you do it. So you'd say A, B, C, D like this, equal to, then, oh, no, not equal to. So A, B, C, D, it's P. So multiply by 3 minus 4, 2, 0, equal to 1, 0, 0, 1 like this. So now you're going to do row by column. So this row by column, so you get 3A plus 2B. Okay, so this row by this column, you get -4A like this. So this row by this column, you get 3C plus 2D. Okay, so this row by this column, you get -4C like this. So this one is equal to what? Is equal to, sorry, let me actually write equal sign here. So it's equal to 1, 0, 0, 1 like this. So by inspection means you're monitoring, you're evaluating something. So for example here, these matrices, they're the same. So if you inspect, it simply means you're also insisting that each and every element here, they must be equal as well. So this one must be equal to this one must be equal to this. So from by inspection, you get negative 4a equal to 0. Like this. These ones would be easy. So obviously a would be equal to 0 here. You can also do the same thing for this part here, but then this part you'd be left for this part here actually. So negative 4c is equal to 1. So c is equal to negative 1 over 4. Okay, so now you have this and this, and you need the other two. Okay, so here 3a plus 2b equal to 1. Okay, so we concluded that a equal to 0, so 2b is equal to 1, so b is equal to half. Okay, so b is equal to half, like this. So the other one which is left, it's what? It's d. So here 3c plus 2d equal to 0. Okay, so you have c here already. So 2d equal to negative 3c. Okay, so d equal to negative 3 over 2. Then c, what's our c? Negative 1/4. So this one is equal to, let me cover this part here because they're kind of separate. So this one is positive, so 3 over 8, like this. So what would be your matrix? Your matrix would be, what's your A? Your A is 0, right, from this. What's your B? Your B is half. What's your C? C is negative 1/4. What's your D? Your D is 3 over 8. And done. So this one would be your P. Yeah. So here is where it gets janky. P must be the inverse of 3, negative 4, 2, 0, like this. Okay. So now you're going determinant equal to what? We say this by this. So 3 by 0 minus, then you say this and this. So you actually put them in brackets as well. It helps you. Okay. So like this. So it gets 0 plus 8. Then you get 8 here. So inverse equal to, so here would be 1 over determinant, so which is 1 over 8. Then this one and this one, they switch, so it gets 0. Then this one would be 3. Okay, this ones and this ones, they switch. This one and this one, they change their signs. So this one would be 4, since it was negative 4. This one would be 4. Remember, this one is changing its sign, its own sign. It doesn't have anything to do with 2. So if these ones were negative, this one were negative as well, it would be 2 as well. Okay, so this one, it's changing its sign. So you get 4. This one is also changing its sign. You get what? You get negative 2, like this. This one is exactly the same as this. So you can actually write that P is equal to this. So P is equal to 1 over 8 if you want, 0, 4, negative 2, 3, like this. If you want to know how this is the same, you can just multiply 1 over 8 inside. Okay, so you'd actually get okay, so let me use a different, whenever I use a red pen, just know that I'm doing this for illustration. You're not supposed to include this. So 1 over 8 by 0, you get this. Then this one by 4, you get half. Okay, so 4 over 8, you get half. This one by this, you get negative 1 over 4. 1 over 4 is a negative 2 over 8, so negative 1 over 4. This one you get 3 over 8, like this. Okay, so that's why I was saying that it's the same. So if you had inspected, if you had our hint here, the reason why that we knew that P was inverse is this one here. It's called an identity matrix. Okay, this is essentially one in 2 by 2 matrices. Okay, so this is called the identity matrix. So yeah, so let's quickly move to the next question. Next question, okay, coordinate geometry. So next question says, The equation of a straight line is y plus 3x equal to negative 4. Find the coordinates of the point where the line crosses y-axis. Okay, crosses y-axis at the y-axis x equal to 0. Okay, so this is the condition. So let me illustrate. So this one would be your y-axis, this one would be your x-axis. Okay, so at the y-axis, anywhere at the y-axis, your coordinate would be 0, y. So x would always be would always be 0 here. So this is the condition that you'd use. X is equal to 0 at the y-axis. X is equal to 0. Your examiner will know. Okay, so yeah, then you'd say x plus y plus 3x equal to negative 4. Then x is equal to 0 here. So y plus 3 times 0 equal to negative 4 here. So y is obviously equal to negative 4. Okay, so the coordinates of a point. So here x coordinate means x, y, like this. Okay, so this is what coordinate means. So x is equal to 0 always, just like what we established, and then y is equal to negative 4 here, and then done. Okay, so the gradient of the line, now you want the gradient of the line. There are two ways to go about it, but then I'll advise you to use this way. Okay, so you should express this in the form y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, this one, this m, must be the gradient, and this one here would be the y ordinate of the y-intercept. Okay, so let me actually illustrate what I mean here. So if you wanted, you could have said y equal to, for this part 1 here, you could have said y equal to negative 3x minus 4, like this. Okay, so this one would be your, we call it the y-intercept, or the y-ordinate of the y-intercept. Okay, so where the graph cuts the y-axis, it's negative 4. So you could have said by inspection 0, negative 4, like this. Okay, if you had done this, also you could have also used the same logic and say, by comparing with y equal to mx plus c, where m is the gradient. Okay, then you conclude now m is equal to negative 3, like this. So this coefficient here must be there, and then the condition, let me explain to you right now. So gradient is negative 3. The condition for this is that the number here in front of y must be 1, so y should be a standalone. If you make y a standalone, then you can say that this is your gradient. On another way to look at it is, I imagine you had 4x equal to minus 12x, 4y actually. Imagine you had like 4y equal to minus this minus 16. This one would not be your gradient, so negative 12 would not be a gradient. Why? Because there's a number here. This number, you have to get rid of it. You get rid of it by dividing throughout by that number. So here it's 4, so you divide throughout by 4, and then you get standalone. Now you get y equal to negative 4x minus 4, like this. Negative 3x, I mean, minus 4, like this. Then you'd conclude now by inspection. Okay, so you only inspect if the coefficient of y is what? Is 1. Let's quickly move to the next part. So this one will be our last question. Jesus, this was long. So equation of a line parallel, you're asked to find the equation of a line parallel to this and passing through point thus. Okay, so here we had say that okay, so you'd say, you'd say parallel lines, this is the clutch, this is what you're supposed to recall. Parallel lines have the same gradient. We have the same gradient. Okay, as such, new line, here's gradient. So you can actually communicate to your examiner this way, so that they can follow. Here's gradient m equal to what? We had said -3 here. Okay, so you're dealing with the case of y equal to -3 x plus c like this. You don't know what c is, and then you have this point here. Okay, so using 3 and 3, 5, which is a valid point here, you'd get 5 equal to -3x plus, okay, 5 is in the value of y, so we're substituting here. Okay, so using that point equal to 3, -3, then 3 here, which is x, plus what? Plus c. You want to determine the value of c. Okay, so c equal to 5 plus 9, which is equal to 14 here. So you'd have a scenario where y equal to -3x plus 14 like this. So y equal to -3x plus 14 like this. Alternatively, what you could do is you have this gradient here. Okay, so we have points. Let the general point be what? X, y, like this. Okay, so you have 2 points now. You have this one and this one. So using the points, remember the stuff that here it was supposed to be general. Okay, so remember that the stuff that I'm writing in red, they're just alternatives. This is how you could have worked out the answers. Okay, so and 3, 5 like this. Okay, so you have this, and you have the gradient is -3. So you'd say change in y. So change in y would be y minus. So if you want, you can even write change in y. So change in y, this is how you write change in y, over change in x equal to m, which is equal to, okay, so which is equal to gradient. So change in y is y minus 5. Change in x is x minus 3. Remember, when you start with this one, just conclude with this one as well for x equal to -3 like this. So I'm continuing here. So get 5y minus 5 equal to -3 x minus 3 like this. So get y minus 5 equal to -3x plus 9 like this. So get y equal to -3x plus 9 plus 5. Okay, so you get plus 14 here. It's still the same what we got here. Okay, so just evaluate if this method was short, I think, the first method. So just use the same first method. And we have to do locus, so I'll find a way that I can illustrate locus to you. So yeah, we might have to skip that one, but then by the time that we end this paper, I promise you we'll be doing locus as well. So I'll illustrate in a way that you can understand. And I wish you well. I make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys for watching these videos. So thanks so much. You keep us going. Just drop us a like and tell us what you like about the video, or subscribe or do something. Okay, thanks so much. Cheers.